So good afternoon and welcome to Medatech's webinar series. Today we're going to be focusing on Priority CRM. My name is Avilia. I'm the marketing manager at Medatech UK, and I'll be going through the presentation, and then Phil will be stepping in to do the demo of the CRM system. So we're going to run through some housekeeping and introduction to CRM, and then Phil will do the demo and we'll have a question and answer session at the end. So just briefly, the webinar will be recorded, so you can look at it online after this webinar has ended. There will be a Q&A section at the end, and you can submit questions at any time using your portal on the desktop. There will be feedback surveys sent out if you could please fill those in, and there's brochures in the doc if you could download them and read at your own leisure. So Priority CRM, what are the benefits that Priority CRM can bring to your organization? So the traceability, you get a full history of actions relating to a lead, so the communications, the meeting, or the quotations that have happened with this customer, and these are easily transferable onto other members of staff. So if staff leave, you can pass the lead straight on to the next member. The structured lead qualification and scoring process within Priority CRM enables you for your sales team to work mostly on the most promising opportunities, so they're not wasting time on old leads or dead leads. You can implement your own lead nurturing strategy, so direct marketing campaigns, telemarketing, to develop the lead from an opportunity up into a sale with the help of your marketing and sales team. The information that you obtain out of Priority is of a better quality. You can weigh up your marketing campaigns against the profit with the actual that you make, and your management can have better overviews into how your sales team are working. The main benefit, we would say, is the improved customer service that you can provide your customers with. You have better communication and you have a more holistic view of what's going on in your sales team. So into the functionality. So you've got your lead management. Within Priority CRM Suite, you have the ability to track and manage lead development. There are statuses and fields that are provided for qualifying leads and urgency of callbacks, and you can assign by region or sales rep with reports showing lead progress. This can be achieved in the lead form or in the customer's form before converting the prospect to an actual customer. You have full track record of all transactions that led from the prospect becoming a client and this becoming a sale, so you can find out which parts you did well and which parts you didn't do so well in future to train your staff on. You have a marketing campaigns form, which is designed to track and monitor the progression of sales opportunities of existing clients or leads. This can be useful to see how well a new product line will do, or how well you can track your trade show leads with reports showing estimated campaign income against actual and task management for employees to see what they need to be doing in the next process. Off the back of your marketing campaigns, you'll raise sales opportunities, and these are raised against a certain customer or leads that you've selected in the marketing campaign. Once the sales op turns into a request for price quotation, you can convert this with minimal data re-entry, and this ensures fewer human errors and a smoother process with traceability. Moving on to the after sales, you have account management, which is important to make sure your existing clients will continue to purchase from you in the future. Priority has a customer form which allows easy reminder of tasks for courtesy calls, emails, and tracking of activity with clients. In here, you'll find outstanding invoices, customer credit, shipments, tasks, and who else has internally been dealing with that customer. So sales reps can be set up alongside targets to manage your sales team and motivate them with commission, whilst giving upper management a holistic view into the sales team movement. This can be helpful if you run competitions such as Sales of the Month, as you can easily work out your top earners and work out who needs more motivation. The pipeline can be generated from the customer form, and by filling in a few fields with data such as month of sale and cost of sale, this allows you to see likely new sales, which can help with forecasting. There are many reporting tools within the CRM section. On the home page, which you'll see in a second, you've got your portlets, so you can see straight away how many open purchase orders and price quotations you have. Forms such as tasks, price quotes, and sales orders have corner tabs to show you how many outstanding items, and this will pull up a to-do list to gain easy access straight away into your work. And you also have CRM dashboards, which can be used by all the sales team to motivate and push for better sales results. So that's a basic overview of the functionality within the CRM section. Before we get on to the demo, if you have a question, please feel free to put it into the chat box, and we'll have a look at them whilst Bill is going through the demo, and we'll try and answer as many as possible. So, over to Bill.
Right, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing now is, I just move my microphone. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing now is just showing you a few of the aspects that Lobelia was identifying in the presentation. Hopefully you can see on your screen in front of you now priority. You can see that I've pulled up the lead screen first of all. So this is quite frequently one of the places that you may well start the CRM journey, if you like, of the data through your system. So here we can see we can identify just somebody who has made contact with us. Now, this could be somebody making contact over the phone, first of all, or indeed you'll find that for those people who attend trade shows, have stands at trade shows, that at the end of the trade show you will get a list, be it in a flat file, in a spreadsheet, in an XML list, or whatever, of all of those prospects who came onto your stand, and that quite frequently will come with name, contact details, job function, etc., etc. Now, quite frequently these would have come from you just scanning their badges as they come into the show or come onto your stand, or equally it could be that you get the full list from the show. Either way, that list can be imported straight into Priority. And probably the best place to put it is into the leads form. Now, leads are different from your customer record because the customers fulfill two roles. First of all, you can have temporary customers, which are your prospects, or the full-blown customer record, who are clearly the people who you're actually doing business with. Leads represents those people who are prior to both of those stages. So they're not a real prospect yet because you haven't quoted them, for instance, and you probably at this stage don't know exactly what it is that they're interested in. So, but you do still want to know the details of them and get them onto your system. Now, of course, one question about all of this is GDPR. I'm sorry to have to swear at you like that, but this is one of the things that has smitten all of us in the last couple of months. Not part of the topic for today, but there are aspects of Priority that we're provided for the management of GDPR and the personal information that you hold. However, moving on. So here we can see what we've done is we've identified an individual. You can either just put their name straight in here, or you could put their first and last names in individual fields, and it'll compile their name for you, and identify what company it is that they are working for. You'll see this is a mandatory field. However, this is just a typed in field. So in other words, you're just typing in or entering the name of the company that they're in. This company is not part of your customer database at this stage. Okay. And you can see there, however, further across here, we do have a customer field. Now, this is identified initially as being the leads customer. So there is a standard customer on the system called leads, and all of your leads will appear under here. This means that you can hold your leads separately from your real customers until such a point as they become a little bit more serious, they actually become a prospect. Now, you also notice that there's on the right-hand side, there is a direct activation here to open potential customers from your leads, so you can directly create prospects from any of the leads on the system. But equally, we also have another direct activation here saying open a sales opportunity. Now what this does, this actually creates an opportunity on the system, which is another entity. And what I'll do is I'll click this so that we can actually create a sales opportunity. So you can either create an opportunity or just open a task on the system to remind you to do something with them. You can identify a marketing campaign. Okay, so as Lobelia identified earlier, you have marketing campaigns on the system. And this one I'll just identify it as being general. However, you can have any number of marketing campaigns on the system, and these can be for trade shows, they can be for mail shots, they can be for all sorts of things. So as you can see here, we've got a sales opportunity that has been opened specifically for this particular lead or this particular customer. And when I click OK on here, you will also see what it's done is it's taken what we typed in as being the company name, and it has also created a new customer record or a prospect record for that company. Okay, so this is a very quick, easy way of getting what's just an ad hoc lead and creating a real prospect very quickly. You'll also notice down here we've got sales opportunities in a subform, and so the sales opportunity that's just been created is identified there, and I can direct activate to it very quickly. And so here we now have our so this has actually jumped to the I actually clicked on the wrong thing, so we can jump straight to the sales opportunity. Now within the sales opportunity you can identify any number of items within here. So let's just put a part or a product in here that these guys might be interested in. They're looking to buy 100 of them, and so that then produces some pricing for this particular opportunity. So this is what we think, if everything goes well, that these guys are going to be buying from us. You'll notice on here there's two revenue fields, well, more than that, but there's two main revenue fields here. One is a projected revenue. That is what you think you are going to realize out of this, assuming that they do eventually buy from you. But equally, there is also a weighted revenue here as well, which indicates the likelihood or the likely value based on a percentage odds of winning this business. Now, the question is, what are those likely odds? So here we can see we've got odds of closing in this field here of 5%. Okay, where did that 5% come from? Well, that is dictated by the status of this particular sales opportunity. So here we have a number of different statuses, and these all behave according to the Bpm Flow Chart that I'm sure you've seen in lots of other areas of priority. But just very quickly, I can jump to that and we can have a look at that flow chart. So in this particular case, this has been arranged so that each of these individual opportunity statuses are in a fairly linear line here, and each of these individual statuses can have their own odds of closing. So if I jump out of here again, now if I come and look at each of these different statuses, you can see each individual one has their own odds of closing. Okay, so we have different percentages that are linked with each of these individual statuses. Okay, so what that means then is if I come back to my sales opportunity and I come in here and I say, okay, I want to change the status, they're now in progress rather than just an initial contact, you can see the odds of closing has changed, and equally, if I come to the pricing, you can see the weighted revenue has increased. Now, the real advantage of this, of course, is that there's a whole load of reporting out of priority, which allows you to look at the pipeline of your prospective sales, and it then those reports can then take those odds of closing into account and produce you a forward plan of what you expect to be selling according to the dates that are identified within here. And here you can see things like opening dates. You can put a projected date of when you expect to win this business. So if we now say it's going to take a couple of months for us to actually seal this deal, then we can see it automatically identifies 72 days estimated until we actually close this piece of business. Okay, so that's sales opportunities, and what of course we can also do from there is when the customer then says, okay, I understand what it is you're offering to me, I would actually like to have a firm quotation. So from here we can then open a price quotation from this particular opportunity. Okay, so again, similar process to going from a lead to opening a sales opportunity. So we can see that's now opened that price quotation. Okay, and at this point I can also go straight. I can go straight to that quotation as well if I wish. Equally, so at that point you are then on the road, if you like, through your sales process. So from the quotation, obviously, you can then work that up, get that into a document, send that out by email to your prospect, and then once they're happy with that, then you convert the quotation to a sales order in the same way I've just converted the opportunity to the quotation. All fairly standard stuff that I'm sure you're all, a lot of you are aware of about priority. Okay, looking at a few other aspects that is important here. You'll see on the left-hand side, I've actually put the notifications pane up. And this is a new feature of version 18. And here we can see that there are a number of price quotations that are subject to priority chat. Okay, this is the ability for individual users of priority to be able to chat with each other about specific transactions. So for instance, we can see one here that's got a little bit of chat here. So there's a conversation been going on between Danielle and Lobelia and asking each other questions about this quote. Obviously they're very busy. Being women, they're multitasking all the time, so they haven't got time to pick up the phone and talk to each other in real time, but they've got the opportunity to chat with each other over a period of time in order to answer some questions. And so here we can see each of these. If as I'm actually logged on as Lobelia here, I can just write a comment. Thanks for your help. Etc., etc. So, and then just reply to that. That will then send ping that message directly to Danielle. She will see it pop up on this little bell here on her screen, and so she will be able to see that a new message has come in, read it, and then answer as appropriate. The important thing, however, about this chat is the fact that you've got the ability to be able to see this information. So if I've just clicked on the price quotation number here and it's taken me direct to that particular price quotation, and you'll see there is a subform here called internal dialogue, and you'll see everything that has been in that chat is included within this internal dialogue subform. Now, of course, that means that you enter priority chat of your own free will, and knowing that everything that you put in that chat window is going to end up in this internal dialogue. It's going to have your name against it, and it's going to have the date and time when you actually said it. So, unfortunately, there is no hiding place anymore. Okay, so looking very quickly at the clock, there's quite a lot more that we could talk about here. If I come back and look at a particular customer record, then we can see that with any customer record, and that's a prospect as well, of course, you've got the ability of putting tasks on the system. I haven't got a task in this particular one, but clearly we've got, for all of these tasks, you've got start dates, end dates, you've got notes to say what it is that you want to be done within this task. So this is holding a history of every conversation. It could be phone call, could be emails, could be correspondence from meetings, etc., that's happened in the past. But equally, you can put things in the future as well. Now, anything that is classified as an appointment, so in other words, it has a separate start date and end date, so it actually has a duration, becomes an appointment and not just a task, something to do. And at that point, then it comes into the calendar. And actually, I've got calendar already identified here. So you can see here we've got a calendar. It's a multi-user calendar, so you can have any number of employees, and you can select what employees you want to see on your particular in your particular calendar. And so you can see down the left-hand side, we've got all the employees, we've got times, and across the top, dates down left-hand side. There are lots of different ways of looking at this, so you don't have to just have it in that format. There are 3 particularly different formats that you can have this in. It's up to you which one's most useful for you to look at. And so consequently, you can see a multi-user calendar. Any appointments that you've got on here, you can move them around, just drag and drop them at will. If you are making changes to somebody else's calendar, somebody else's diary, then it will automatically send them a message saying that an appointment either has been created, deleted, altered, etc. Equally, any of those messages can also go directly out on email. And all of these tasks can be multi-user, so you can have any number of attendees identified against these. You can also use groups, so you can group your users together, your employees together, so that a single task can go to a group. You've also got resources, and you also have reminders as well. So as you are approaching the time slot for one of these activities, then the system will send you a message automatically to say, yes, this activity is about to start. So you ought to either get on the phone or start your go-to meeting or get to wherever it is you're going to have your meeting. Right. Okay. So just looking very quickly at Lobelia, is there anything I have drastically missed? I'm sure there's tons, but
there's quite a lot. But I think if you want a more in-depth demo, it would be worth you getting in contact, and we can do another meeting over the web, and you can have a more in-depth CRM demo.
Yep. One last thing that I forgot to mention is that, of course, there is compatibility and integration with all of the Microsoft tools. So Outlook is included in that. So anything, I'm sure lots of you know that you can create documents in Priority which automatically get emailed out. Equally, you can generate information in report-wise and do your own email shots driven from Priority. But equally, any appointments that you've got on the calendar here, then these can automatically synchronize with your Outlook, so that any items in your calendar get synchronized with your Outlook. So as soon as you see them in Priority, you also see them in your Outlook calendar as well. That synchronization can be bi-directional, so it can come in as well as go out. And that's exactly the same with the emails as well. So you've got the facility of identifying emails in your Outlook inbox and identifying that you want them to be brought into Priority as tasks. The normal Outlook flag capability gives you that facility, so you can flag particular items, and then Priority will take those flagged items, bring them into Priority as individual tasks, and link them with whichever customer or contact record has the email from which, email address from which that email was sent. Okay. Right, any questions then? Probably best, Lobelia, if you come and sit in the hot seat again so you can control it.
Okay. So we've got one from...
Okay, so first question, can salespeople access information away from the office? Yes, absolutely. Priority is now available wherever you've got an internet signal. First of all, you've got the ability of accessing Priority on a laptop or a tablet, tablets being either Android or Apple. They have their own apps, Priority apps, so that you can access that information. We've had for very many years Priority Lite, which allows you to access Priority in a slightly cut down version on smartphones or tablets. And we also have the capability with version 18 now of generating your own internal apps from Priority. So you take individual transactions within from different forms in Priority, generate your own app, and then publish it to your users, who can then download that to their smartphones and or tablets. So yes, all of this information is accessible to anyone who has any of those devices, which are linkable to the internet. Next question, could you let me know if it's compatible with Mac-based computers software, please? Yes, it is. Yes, we have Priority is available for Macs, and certainly we can provide you with the compatibility notes on that, and also any hardware specifications required. I suggest you just send an email to the sales at medatechuk.com, and we'll answer that one in a bit more detail. Can rules be set to check if quotes are being made with a low margin? Yes. I haven't spoken at all about business rules. Time hasn't permitted, but there is business rule capability throughout the whole of Priority, which means that if there is anything that you put into a Priority form that does not conform to a particular business rule, and that mention of low margin sales is a good example. So what you can do is you can identify within the quotation form that your profit margin needs to be over a certain percentage value, and if you try and put a quotation on with a lower value than that, then you will automatically get either an error message or a warning message, or indeed it could just automatically send an email to your boss. Okay, next question. If I make a quote and the customer has exceeded credit, will it prevent me from continuing? It won't prevent you from continuing on the quotation, but it will prevent you from putting a sales order onto the system. So the sales order is the first financially, legally binding commitment that you are making. And so it's at that point onwards that you will then get messages, either error messages or warning messages, preventing you from continuing if they have exceeded their credit limit. All of this can be cloud-based, and so that's a private cloud option. So we can provide Priority on a hosted platform in the cloud. That's using our own facilities. We also have business partners. You can put it on pretty well whatever cloud you want, but clearly we work with certain business partners who we work well with. I think that's probably the number of all the questions that we've got so far. Are there any further questions out there?
I think in that case, there's no more questions, so we will end the webinar there. Please check out our future webinars on our website at medatech.com/webinars. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to reply to the emails that are sent out after this webinar. Thank you very much for participating.